Okay, so you won the case, there's an order for costs, and then you have to go through the process of trying to enforce the judgment and collect the money.
Collect the money.
And how does that work?
We have like a Department of Enforcement and Debt Collection, let's say. When you have a court order, you are just make an application about the collection of the material fact of the decision, and the other party will receive a debt collection claim. Once they receive, they have to they will have a certain period of time for objection. But for court orders, we wouldn't expect other party to object any of the content, because they can't.
So this is almost like another little court case.
Yes, it is. But not involving trials.
No. But you start like a little new court case saying, okay, I've won this judgment. Now, collection department, can you please collect it for me?
Yeah, because with a court decision, you cannot seize the property of the other party or not put an injunction. You cannot do this. You can only do that protection of your funds by proceeding through the enforcement department.
So you would go to the enforcement department and you would say, I've just won this court case. This man owes me 5 million lira, and you would say, okay, I know that he has a big house. And he has a Ferrari, and he has a bank account with a lot of money in it. Can you please seize those?
Actually, what we do is the enforcement department has an access to the land registry records, and also has an access to the traffic records. So they will find out whether is there any.
So they can do that themselves.
Yeah, in most provinces it is settled. Some of them is not working properly yet. But you will see whether is there any vehicle or not, and if there is a vehicle, they will send the injunction straight away.
Right.
Yeah. But before then, the case, the claim must become absolute, which means there shouldn't be any objection, and there's a certain period of time for the objection. If the other party is silent for the period, then it becomes like an absolute straight away. And then you can start the injunction procedure.
And if the other party did object, saying that this court decision is invalid, I suppose, or something like that.
Yeah.
So what would then happen?
Then we have a court of the enforcement proceedings, and just looking for the actions of.
So there'd be a court hearing where the court would decide whether that was a valid
but
objection.
This is a very specific court, just dealing with the enforcement cases.
Yeah, specialist court.
Specialist course.
Okay, so eventually you hope that you can seize these assets, and if the assets are seized, then they need to be sold to pay what's due to you, and that's always done by public auction.
Yeah, it's a public auction. You need to follow up some steps, which could be a little bit hassling, I have to say, and expensive, because in the first place you need to make an advance payment for the expenses of the Department of Debt Collection, going out for a public a forced sale or public
because that costs money.
That costs money, so you need to recover that in the first place. But when it's sold, if there's any funds for you to recover your debt, then you will be deducting it from that.
And so if the assets are sold, and of course they generally sell very cheaply at public auction, it's a great place to buy a used Ferrari.
50% less than the market value.
Yes, so sold at public auction, so let's say they get 100,000 lira for it, it could be 10,000 lira for the expenses of the auction. If you're owed 90,000 lira, you get the whole lot. If you're owed less than 90,000 lira, you get what you're owed, and the rest goes back to the owner. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, of course, there shouldn't be any other debts to be collected from that asset.
That will get more complicated. But that's the principle.
Yeah.
You take what's needed, and anything left over goes back to the owner.
Correct.
Yes. That's great. You win the case and you manage to seize assets, but of course, really, you want to know whether there are going to be any assets before you start the case, because it's a very long road to go down, a lot of money to spend, only to get to the end and find this man's got no money.
Yeah.
If you find there are assets at the beginning of the case, is there a way in which you can freeze those assets until the trial?
You can ask for a protective injunction or interim injunction. or interim seizure, which means that you are just asking from the judge that you have a legitimate case. So you want to make sure that if you win the case, you will have the ability to collect your claim. So you can ask for an interim injunction, but this is basically just gonna make a decision. Is a decision of the judge. I mean, he can either give you the right to interim injunction the property or not. And for interim injunction, the courts are always seeking you, not always, that's incorrect, but most likely they will be asking you to pay a security.
Just in case you lose the case and you put this man to a lot of expense and inconvenience.
Exactly. So, and the likely percentage will be like a 15-20% of the value that the case that you want to put the interim injunction.
Okay, so let's just take an example. Let's say somebody owns a house worth 500,000 Turkish lira. You go to the judge and you say, can I please have an interim an order against this house? And the judge would say, yes, your claim is 200,000 lira, so you can put a charge on the house for 200,000 lira, but you've got to pay 15%, 30,000 lira as security before we'll allow you to do that. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works. And some cases, especially the cases has like dealing with an ownership rights, because the ownership is a very protective right according to our constitution, which means you might get an interim injunction without a security.
Right.
I mean, if you are claiming that that property is
mine.
Yours and it's mine, so it's basically a dispute about the ownership right. And if you have a strong case, I mean, if you can prove but if you have a strong evidence, is a supporting document, then the judge may say, okay, this is a matter of ownership, so I just put the seizure on the property.
And of course, this is important because if you get the judge to agree that you have a seizure of the property, then your right will be registered at the land registry. And so if the owner tried to mortgage the land, for example, or to sell the land, you would be protected because your right would be superior to their right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like a registry of your right, but a registry of the court case.
Of the claim.
Yeah, claim will be there. Yeah.
Yes. So that if you win the court case, then everybody knows that if they bought this piece of land,
they can't really, because if there is a seizure, he's not going to be able to sell the property.
He physically couldn't. It wouldn't be that the person could buy it subject to your rights.
No, because seizure is something different. I mean, if there's a injunction, yes, you can. If it's a matter of a debt, yes, you can take over the debt or take over the mortgage. But for ownership rights, basically the property is seized.
Different types of rights. So you can either seize the property or you can put a debt against the property.
Yeah,
but both protect you. That's the important thing. Okay.